Should unpaid internships be banned? The people gathered at this protest in Montreal certainly think so.
I went through my first internship without getting paid. It was 5 days a week. At the end of my internship, I realized how screwed up it was because I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet.
So they don't have money, they have to work a lot of hours without being paid. It has to be a decision of the government to pay all the staff.
Student groups and unions have been calling for this for years. They want the province to make wages mandatory for any internship.
But is this a good idea, and how realistic is it? One expert explains that changing the rules is pretty easy, but the devil is in the details.
It will depend then on who would bear the cost of the regime. That is, would it be the educational institution that has to pay the students? Would it be the establishment where they're interns who has to pay them directly?
Let's start with that last idea, a system where companies or organizations cover that cost. One common argument that we hear against this system is that it would lead to fewer internships being available.
When you tell an employer they now have to pay at least this much for something, they tend to want less of it.
That could have downstream consequences where they may accept less interns because then it becomes a cost center for them.
But Makela says schools the students go to could also share some of the costs for the internships, and various levels of government could also contribute funds. Some groups argue that when it comes to internships in the public sector, the government should foot the bill.
But experts say if groups really wanted to make this happen, they would basically have to force the government's hand.
If the teachers or future teachers say, I'm not doing this, and all of a sudden they stop showing up and education majors plummet, then all of a sudden we can say, all right, how are you going to get them back? If we need teachers that badly, then the way you need to draw them back in is you got to start paying them for their internship.
Makela says creating laws to mandate paid internships would be legally simple. It's just a matter of political will at the provincial level, and there might not be any during a time of budget constraints.
It's conceivable that they would be more resistant to any kind of change.
We reached out to the office of the province's higher education minister. They responded with a statement saying that they are focused on improving working conditions, and that since 2019, they have been providing scholarships to support interns in certain fields.
Meanwhile, organizations calling for change say they will continue making their voices heard ahead of the upcoming provincial election, with hope that the next elected leader takes their demands seriously.